true.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to Sony then. First question. A specific release date is mentioned for the U.S. public release of PlayStation Now. This is, for those that don't know, the game streaming service that they bought from Gaikai. The idea is that it's been in beta for a little while now, but there's the idea of making it public to everyone in the United States, giving a specific date for it for streaming games to your system.
I think it has to be. They have been beta testing for 4 months now. I would have to think that they are close enough at this point that they can give us a concrete release date, and I think it's going to be out before the end of the year.
It's got to be before the end of the year.
Yeah, it certainly has to be the end of the year. Like, the hardest thing about this one is the specific release date. We're looking for a date.
Yep.
And I said yes because I feel like they need to get that date out there. You know, throwing out just, holiday.
Later this month.
I fully expect a
like
holiday.
Summer, winter. That's really that won't get anyone up and going for. But like if they go November 10th, PlayStation Now, people are like, well, I know what I'm getting for Christmas.
Yeah.
Or I know what I'm getting Black Friday. I think we're gonna see a specific release date, and it's gonna be before Black Friday.
So you're gonna say yes on that.
Mm-hmm.
I say no because I think it's going to be something like a later this month. I think it has to be summer. It's currently on track for summer, and I think if they slip to holiday, that's not a good look.
No.
But it would be a good move in Sony's part, and I think a dangerous one for their servers if they say, and it's available today.
I was literally just thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good win for them. It could be entirely possible, and that would fulfill the specific date requirement, but holy crap, their servers better be ready if they do that.
I say
regardless if they're ready or not, that shit's gonna bog down the first day.
Yeah, I know.
But there's gonna be two dates I can see it falling on. Today or right before Black Friday. There's no other specific date I think it could fall on. If they give a release window, then they can go summer. But this is the time where they need to make the big, powerful announcements.
I'll give you a third. Next Tuesday, so it would be the 17th. After all the E3 menace is over, get that all out of their system, then bring that in. I think that's maybe another option.
I don't think so. It's got to be the now or before Black Friday. That way, they can stress test their systems before Black Friday.
Yeah.
And that's the best way I can see them.
Regardless, I think we all think it's going to be a big part of their show. It's one of their big features that they've been talking about for a while, and they've got to talk pricing.
Yeah.
They got to talk pricing and library, and it's got to be impressive. And 71.8% of Sminjas said yes to a specific release date for PlayStation Now.
My Sminjas.
All right. I see you, Sminjas. Now, Cyberlink, your last one here. Another big future PlayStation plan, Project Morpheus, which those that don't know, the PlayStation virtual reality system. By the way, had a demo on The Tonight Show.
I was
Jimmy
just
Fallon.
about to mention that. I think that is the strongest evidence that there is going to be Project Morpheus at the show. Because if they're going to show it on live TV, they're obviously comfortable enough where it is that they would be willing to show it on their press conference.
Sorry, I'm stealing your thunder there. So, for those that didn't see it, what did you think of seeing that?
I thought that, it's definitely rough around the edges, I'll say that much.
Yep.
But, I think that it's at a stage where they can clearly show what it is they want Project Morpheus to be, and they can really sort of, as long as they've got, the sufficient demos to really show off what they have in mind for, the game, software, that sort of thing. I think that it's absolutely at a point where they want to get this out there. They want people to know that this is coming so they can get them in on the ground floor early.
Yeah. And so the question is that it will be mentioned during the conference. Doesn't have to be demoed. It's going to be mentioned. So I said yes, because I agree. I think it's that far along. And Jimmy Fallon, great to get it exposure. He's a terrible tester. He went the flailing route with both Move controllers, and it's just like, you look so dumb. And the guy who's there demoing it, he's like one of the heads of The Verge, that publication.
Yeah.
And he's just like, this is really a technological marvel. And then Fallon's just like,
well, like isn't looking dumb while playing video games a staple of network television?
I believe so.
More so when you don't have a controller.
Unless your name is Conan.
Conan does a really good.
Yeah, like the Clueless Gamer, he just seems like a normal guy playing it, and just like I think it's always gone over pretty well with me, at least. Like, yeah, if he doesn't understand it, but he still seems to be enjoying himself as a normal human being.
Yeah. I think it has to be mentioned.
I knew nothing of Project Morpheus when this question came around.
Really?
I was totally in the dark.
Huh. We have talked about on the show
with the internet itself recently, so
true.
Project Morpheus blindsided me. So I'm like, whatever this is, no. And you're just like, oh, this demo on Tonight Show. I'm like, well, that's a wrong answer for me.
Yeah. And we did have 74.4% of Sminges say yes.
Although,
Tony, why'd you say no?
Oh, like I said with the other one, I just don't think like they need to sell their consoles right now.
You don't like it, basically.
Well, that too, but
the thing is, I still think it might still be a no, though, because after the Jimmy Fallon thing, it's just kind of like that didn't seem like it'd be a good indication. Rough around the edges, stuff like that. It's like, all right, we showed it off a little bit. It didn't really go over well.
Maybe.
But at the same time, this is their chance to show it in a more controlled environment. They don't have the idiocy of network television bogging it down.
I was just going to say, you have a more controlled environment. Assuming the wireless devices, we don't want another Skyward Sword demo happening. I know Nintendo totally different. But
also, if they don't get children to demo it.
They would be another one who'd be flailing about.
Skittles.
All right, Cyberlink, you've had some great Big Boss and Kiefer predictions in the past, some of which have come true, so I'm anxious to hear.
Now it's time to impress me.
What are yours this year?
Okay, I got two for you. Big Boss, Next Level Games is rebooting another Nintendo property.
Ooh.
I think it's pretty clear they've been working on something since they finished Dark Moon. I would wager they've probably been working on it since like late 2012, early 2013, when they were basically done with production. And they announced a couple months ago that they are making games exclusively for Nintendo now. So they have to be working on something. And I think that the year and a half they've been working on it is enough time that they can finally show what it is and show it at E3.
I think it's good. I think it's Big Boss.
All right. Kiefer.
Couldn't wait. I want to first have a follow-up here.
All right.
Unless it is part of your Kiefer, do you have a prediction of which franchise that would be?
I think they're going the Punch-Out route and bringing back something that hasn't been seen since the NES, or at least hasn't been seen prominently since the NES. Now, I could not tell you what that is. It could be, something like Mach Rider, or it could be something a little more, even more obscure. But I think that it's something old that we have not seen in at least 2 generations.
Now, for 3DS or Wii U?
I'm going to say 3DS.
Okay. That makes sense, because they have more experience with that one.
Yeah.
When you said that, I first thought maybe Advance Wars.
Advance Wars would be a pretty good guess, I think. But I think it's going to go back further.
Okay.
That's just my guess.
Spider-Man and Hiroshima.
Oh, no. What is your Kiefer?
This one is so far into left field that it borders on lunacy.
Hit me.
Good.
Devil May Cry
Oh, good.
5 by Platinum Games.
Oh my god.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty Kiefer. Wow. Yeah, so they just ditched the whole DMC thing where like everyone didn't like that. Back to Real Dante.
I think DMC did so badly, and they do not want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. They specifically said that outsourcing games to like Western studios did not pan out well for them in the previous financial brief, and I imagine DMC was a big part of that. And considering the fact that they are still using old Dante in crossover games, it's pretty clear which one they favor overall. And I would have to imagine that they still like DMC enough that they want to keep it as one of their tentpole franchises, but not enough that they would continue down the DMC reboot route. So I have to imagine they'll bring back old Dante, and if they're going to give it to anybody, give it to the guys who made it what it is in the first place.
Yeah. No, I hear you. That's great. That's a good Kiefer.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid Kiefer.
They should
I don't
do
think
that.
it has a ghost chance. I mean, it doesn't have a chance, but...
And it's weird because Tony and I both like DMC, kind of.
I know it doesn't have a chance because Capcom doesn't make good decisions anymore.
No, not at all. Even Square kind of has woken up. And Square was like being stupid too, but they're like, oh, Bravely
That's-
Default did good. We should do stuff like that.
That's something.
What do we do to make Capcom have that like, oh?
I don't know. Gotta change up something. All right, Cyberlink, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Have a great E3. Really
Yeah.
enjoy it.
You guys too.
All right, we'll see ya.
Hype.
Hype.
I was sad when Game Buddy was just like wrecking DMC, and I wasn't like here on
Yeah.
that episode, and I'm like, I kind of,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
but I understand where he's coming
My
from.
coworker loved it, so. But he always explained this giant baby fight, and it was weird.
The giant baby fight was a little different.
The game was trying really hard to be offensive. I feel like.
It was just a bit. What that straight edge video or whatever it was.
Oh my god.
Trying so hard
Yeah,
to be offensive.
trying-
You're not South Park's Stick of Truth.
And South Park's got that charm to it, though.
It does. It does. All right, so we have a few more Sony questions coming up next, and good to have this gentleman here on Show Me Your News.
Now you know this gentleman very well.
I do speak with him rather often, and we even after speaking, we do discuss video games and sorts.
All right.
Sports ball.
Joel, or also known as I'm a Beast, welcome.
Hi guys.
Hey, how are you?
You still haven't picked one name after all these.
I thought he was Captain America.
He's a whole
Everything.
he's a whole lot of people. All right, so Joel, we got 3 Sony questions for you.
All right.
The first one is a new exclusive Vita game that is not a port or a remake is announced during the Sony conference.
Well, they got to sell these things. So that's definitely one
Yeah.
thing that you got to keep in mind going forward. And recently they had the was it the Amazon France leak with the PlayStation 4 Vita bundle.
That's right.
So they're gonna try and get these out there, by saying, "Hey, we'll buy this PlayStation. Maybe we'll throw something in with this." I think there's got to be something, even if it's just one thing that's exclusive to the Vita. There's got to be at least one thing.
It's got to be a sequel.
Yeah.
It can't be a new IP. A new IP won't sell a system unless it's super impressive. But I don't think the Vita is really gonna throw anyone at it.
It would be dangerous.
It's got to be a sequel, and I'm thinking it's got to be a sequel to The Last of Us.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Excuse me?
Last
You're
of Us
crazy.
is huge. If you have to sell that Vita, you got to go with the largest IP you've got at the moment.
Everyone would
But-
be livid.
They would be. You gotta have
Everyone
Naughty
would have
Dog
to buy a
doing that.
Vita.
No, that's a good
Everyone
point.
would have to buy the Vita. Oh, would you look at that reasoning?
We're gonna have a question about that later. That's gonna be a whole mess if you think that's gonna happen for Vita. I
Did
think
it for Uncharted.
that was a launch title.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot of time there. I think
It's
if
not
they're
Uncharted's like popcorny, not following a story path or anything though. Like people want to know what happens at the end of Last of Us. Like they're not gonna throw a sequel on a handheld.
okay, if I had a guess as to we do have all
Oh,
of
shut
us
up! That's even less likely.
Legends 3 on Vita. Oh my god, we do have all of us saying yes. And Joel, I'm sorry, you did say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I had a guess as to what it would be, a Vita game that would be like a new, sort of game, I think it would be an established franchise. I could see a Gravity Rush 2, but I don't think that's a big system seller.
No.
I think if you go system seller route, I would say an Infamous game for Vita.
Possibly, I could see that.
I don't know. I think Infamous would be on the same line as, the Assassin's Creed series, and the Assassin's Creed had one on the Vita, and that one just went just nowhere. I don't think
That was
Infamous
just
is
not
as
good.
big enough to save the system. I think they want to save the system. I think it's got to be Last of Us.
Wow. Tony, do you have a guess as to what it could be?
I didn't even like Last of Us, so I would just be watching people get mad at that.
Well, you're just wrong. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to think. New, not a port or a remake. I don't know. I feel like it might be a new IP, but
It could be.
like that. If it is, I couldn't think of it because if I had a new IP in my brain that could sell consoles, I'm not gonna tell anybody.
Right. We had
Yeah.
76.9% of Sminjas say yes, so they got to do something with the Vita. They gotta. It would be interesting. Now, I think my most anticipated game of the show, aside from seeing more about Smash, aside from Zelda for Wii U, is Uncharted 4. So, Joel,
Those are good movies.
Uncharted 4 has a presence at the Sony conference, yes or no?
I said yes. I mean, even if you go back a couple months, industry insiders have been saying yes. Leaks have been saying yes. I mean, really everything's been saying yes. And I'm kind of thinking more like a 3-minute long trailer kind of thing. Like I'm thinking
they're gonna close this show on it.
it's got to be something more significant than just like a teaser kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a demo, though that would be great. I think it's going to be a last minute, here's one last thing. Or they could also bundle it right along with the Last of Us remastered news when they give that a release date. But I think definitely a trailer at the very least. You read the interview that I think it was Game Informer did with the two co-leads over at Naughty Dog. All of that stuff that went down with Amy Hennig and the actor who played the speaking role in the Uncharted 4 teaser. Or Uncharted, but we're just calling it Uncharted 4. The actor who played the speaking role in that trailer, he's no longer with the team. So, but at Naughty Dog, they're saying, that's business as usual. We haven't really stopped. It hasn't really impeded our progress. We're still moving. Bruce Straley and Neil Druckmann, the two creative and game leads for The Last of Us, they're now on Uncharted 4. So I think that restored a lot of faith with the fans, a lot of hope there. 84.6% of Smidges said yes. We all said yes.
Yep.
So I think if you go based on Naughty Dog's words, I think almost the more riskier question is if they show the other project they're working on, which I don't think that's far along yet. But,
Come on, Crash.
Nah, man. What it's gonna be is
Jak and Daxter.
you guys are all wrong. Like Uncharted 3 had this multiplayer that wasn't any good. Uncharted 4, it's gonna be a kart racing multiplayer.
Oh no! Oh no!
But
But
I'll tell you this, I said yes to this, like all those are good points, but as soon as they hey, you can go see the Sony press conference at a movie theater, I'm like, yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good point.
That's the Uncharted 4.
That's a really good point.
If you're going there and you're not getting an Uncharted trailer out of that, I'll be pissed for you because that's bullshit.
I expect that game is going to look gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait.
I don't even know where they're gonna go with the graphics. I can't really imagine it, and then it's gonna be better than life.
Naughty Dog is one of the premier developers in the world. I think they're right up there with Rockstar. It's always exciting to see what they work on. Joel, any other thoughts about your anticipation?
I think it'll probably be the best thing they show, at least visual wise.
I don't think that I don't think it'll be this year because they still have too much work. They have a lot of mocap to do.
Yeah.
They have a lot of work. I think the game is still written. I think they've still kept Amy Hennig's general script, maybe done some touch-ups since then because they can't start over from scratch. But I think a holiday 2015.
Yeah, holiday 2015 it sounds good. I'm telling you, Uncharted 4, it's gonna end the conference, so everyone's walking out of a movie theater talking about Uncharted.
There you go. That's great. Last question for you, Joel. A new God of War game is announced for the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, actually a lot of I said yes for this. A lot of the same rumors for the PlayStation leaked conferences, there's a bunch of them, but almost all of them have a teaser for this game. I mean, and by teaser that means you don't really know how much you're going to get from it, but you're going to get something.
Right. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be much at all. It's not something that's going to be ready holiday 2014. But I think Sony Santa Monica, big studio, has to be working on something. maybe they're helping Ready at Dawn a little bit with the Order 1886, maybe.
Right.
But we haven't seen their premiere project yet. And usually, that's God of War.
Yeah.
I mean, they ended 3 on kind of a cliffhanger. I think you could
Yeah.
also go in a different direction if you wanted to, another time entirely, another set of deities. I think God of War could definitely happen.
I think God of War is played out, but of course it's got to come out for the PlayStation 4 the next
I
title.
agree with you on being played out, but as long as it makes money, you know.
Yeah, I God of War game will come out for PlayStation 4, and it'll be good.
So, Tony, you said no.
I just don't see it for some reason in my brain. I don't really have any logic behind it.
It's a gut feeling.
Yeah, just that's funny considering what happened at the end of 3.
Yep, absolutely. 43.6% of Sminjas said yes, so more went with the no.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
High five, everybody, all around.
All right, Joel, I know you've been very big on the rumors. You've been passing a lot of things along to us, which we do appreciate over on Twitter. So I gotta imagine your big boss and Kiefer's, they gotta be something.
Okay, so I kind of hinted this to you a little bit when I was talking to you the other day.
Right.
So my big boss prediction is so there is a kind of an inside rumor that apparently, I mean, it's going to happen. And if you think about what Nintendo really needs for this conference, there's definitely going to be some type of action game coming from them, at this E3. As far as what it is, a lot of people are thinking, it's going to be something like Star Fox or, it's something, maybe Platinum Games is doing something else. Just all those developers who that's the kind of games they like to do. And but I'm kind of leaning towards something else.
Okay.
I'm kind of leaning towards so they're having trouble with third-party developers, obviously, but they still do have a few that they're in good relations with. They still make games for their systems, and Capcom is one of those. So I have this idea that there's something that, I mean, if you ask anybody who's followed Capcoms over the year, there's a specific character that everybody loves that they just haven't seen in a really long time. And
You're a bastard. This was mine.
So
it was yours too, because I was talking to Peter about it last night.
So my idea is
Mario
that
and Mega Man at the Olympic Games.
I thought about that for a second, but I don't think it's going to be a crossover
World
title.
Cup.
What I'm thinking is Capcom gives Nintendo the rights to make a new classic Mega Man game for the Wii U.
Capcom gives Nintendo the rights to make a classic Mega Man for Wii U. Pretty big boss.
Yep. Last night we talked about that at length. I said it was either going to be Mega Man or X9.
Indeed. So it's a pretty...
I mean, if there's a company that I wouldn't mind seeing handle them besides Capcom, it's...
No, it's true. And,
with.
Mega Man and Smash was the big news last year. Like, everyone loved it. Take a hint, Capcom. Absolutely. Your Kiefer, though.
All right, so... again, it's Nintendo focused. It's just I grew up with it, and I love seeing all the news from the conference. But really, what I'm focused on is what Nintendo's going to share, because that's who I own the most products from. So, it's actually a multi-newcomer trailer for Smash Brothers.
Okay.
It starts off in a battlefield with two armies, and we hear Palutena and Chrom shout out at each other. Palutena's Centurions are about to collide with Chrom's Shepherds. Time slows down and Shulk appears, wielding the Monado. A huge shadow darkens the land, and Chrom, Palutena, and Shulk look into the air to see Ridley.
It's Ridley!
It's Ridley.
He's in the clouds!
He flies in for a devastating attack. But then Ridley stops his attack midair, his
There's
eyes
more?
wide open. He turns around. Pac-Man is nibbling on his tail. A motorcycle engine roars, and Cloud Strife is riding with Bayonetta sitting behind him, spread eagle. we hear a familiar squawking sound and notice that Kazooie is carrying Banjo on her back using the Talon Trot. So I went through that and I said, wait. It's still not crazy enough.
What?
The trailer closes with the Crystal Ship driving into the battle with Walter White and Jesse Pinkman emerge, revealed as the new Ice Climbers style character.
And then they all get shot down by the Fizamac.
And I have one little, one little prediction here. It's a Wyco prediction.
What?
Fiat Chrysler has DLC for Mario Kart 8.
They're getting the Viper in Mario Kart.
And that's it.
That is one of the more Kiefer predictions that we're gonna get. Can you let's list those off really quickly? Just like all those newcomers.
Oh, okay. So we got Politania, Crom, let's see, just do Shulk, Ridley.
Right up in there, it actually sounded
Yeah,
like
it'd be
something
good.
that could happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking going through.
Right up to that
Pac-Man,
point.
Cloud Strife,
That one was no.
Bayonetta,
and Bayonetta.
and then
Bayonetta makes
Walt
sense.
and Jesse from Breaking Bad.
Dude, I just want the Kirby Walter White hat now.
It could be the Crystal Climbers.
Get some Final Smash going on there. All right, Joel. I don't know.
Smash. We have to cook.
The Kirby cook. Yeah.
And that's what I thought
Oh man, Joel. I think on that note, we're gonna let you go. Thank you so much for calling in.
All right, see
Thank
you
you.
guys.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Good E3.
Super
Ooh,
so proud of you.
I'm so proud. Gonna cook and cook. Oh man. I think there are keeper predictions that have a lot to live up to
Yeah.
right now. That's pretty crazy. Hey, look at the next question we're gonna discuss. That's
How far are we right now? It's been an hour and a half.
has it? No, it's been just about an hour or a little past an hour. But we have some Sony questions to discuss with as we join in hope that his internet works. Zero Ranma, welcome. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing pretty good. And my internet is sort of functioning. It works with Skype. Everything else, not so much.
Ah.
It works now. That's what
No,
matters.
it doesn't work with Twitch. Trust me. I haven't
Oh.
been able to watch this stream
Oh,
all day.
I'm sorry. Well, we'll get the MP3 download for you pretty
Right.
soon after the show.
No worries. I'll just
We're-
watch it on YouTube.
First question for you is Sony.
Mm-hmm.
The Last of Us 2. That is a brand new sequel or prequel, not the original game remastered on PS4. The Last of Us 2 is announced.
I said no. Part of me is feeling that, yes, the original game will get remastered for PS4, but a brand new title?
Well, they've
I
already
don't
said
know.
they're remastering the Last of Us for PS4.
Yeah, I don't know if a new one will come out
No,
this...
I don't think so either. Maybe a teaser, maybe, but I really doubt that.
Yeah.
Word is that the remaster on PS4 is going to be out very soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
so
heard that.
I'm pretty
Either-
sure that will be there, but
Either
No.
the 13th or the 20th of this month. Like, it's going to be real soon.
yeah.
I'd imagine.
But yeah, I agree. Naughty Dog's working on something else. It may be another Last of Us game, but it's not going to be shown at E3.
Like I said, it's gonna be a Vita title. It's not gonna be Last of Us 2. It's gonna be Last of Us
3.
something named.
But that would count.
I wouldn't say 2.
This is
The
2
first
would
of
be the
us.
continuing
A
story of those
brand
people.
new game.
I
not
would say
just
The
Yeah.
Last of Us of a story that does not have anything to do with what happened in The Last of Us, the first one.
I'm guessing you just pulled that out now because you did say no in your contest.
Oh yeah. Of course I said no in this. The Last of Us was not too long ago, and they've got the remake coming out. There's
Yeah,
no way
and
they're going to come up
it's
with
a
a
little
continuing
too
story.
Mm-hmm.
But The
a little
Last of Us, kind of the engine, kind of everything I liked about it, it's going to come out in the Vita type game, but it's not going to be,
Okay.
it's not going to be them.
Okay. I mean, 10%, or 10.3% of Sminges said yes. So, yeah, we all say no. We all agree this is probably not going to happen. Now, next question. Either Quantic Dream or Media Molecule reveal their new PlayStation 4 game. Now, Quantic Dream, this is David Cage, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond.
Beyond. And then Media Molecule is Little Big Planet.
Yep.
So, Zero Ranma, what do you think on that one?
I'm thinking it's time for Little Big Planet PS4. I don't know, that's just me. Quantic Dream, if they do have something that's not Dark Sorcerer,
Right.
because that was not a game.
It was a tech demo last year. It was impressive looking, that's for sure. But yeah, not a game.
Yeah, I kind of gave this the yes. But I was really on the fence about it because I'm like, I feel like Media Molecule is going to put it on the Vita.
They already do have a Little Big Planet game on Vita.
Okay.
It is a few years old. Or a couple years. It's only
It's kind of a Little Big Planet 2 thing. You know, everything's
Right.
done on the Vita already.
Right.
You can do again, but here's a lot more new stuff.
It's possible.
But on the same token, you're like, we haven't really seen the PS4 Little Big Planet yet.
Nope.
So I'm like, yeah, we'll go for this. I'm gonna say yes.
Here's the
Yeah,
thing, though. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go
Zero.
ahead.
Okay. I hate to burst the bubble, but I'm pretty sure it's been announced that Media Molecule is not planning on going to E3. They are a European company. I believe they are gearing up for a Gamescom reveal of Little Big Planet PlayStation 4. You know, they like to especially show off the European developers at Gamescom. It is a conference that's growing. I think Sony will have enough to show this year that I don't think Media Molecule is on the cards. Quantic Dream, maybe.
I think it's too soon.
And I agree. I do think it's too soon, especially with all the mocap that David Cage likes to do.
I don't know about you, but like when I finished Beyond, I just finished that, by the way, and me and Yoko were talking a little bit about it before. That seemed like a really ambitious project. When I was done with it, I was like, that went to so many locations and crazy stuff.
It was definitely impressive. But yeah, I think it is a little too soon. That's why I said no. And Tony, you said no as well.
I think that Media Molecule, it might not be showing up for E3, but that don't mean that Sony won't still do something with them.
It's possible. I mean, a lot of these things, you know, for Square Enix, we'll talk about them later, but they may not be going to E3, but you never know if they'll do some sort of surprise. Rockstar never goes to E3, but you might get some surprise from them during one of the... I mean, Valve, anything's possible, really.
Game Newell shows up.
But our community's pretty split. 51.3% say yes, that Quantic Dream or Media Molecule show their PlayStation 4 game. Last question for you here, Zero, for Sony. PlayStation 4 makes a value move, a price cut or included bundle, to counter Microsoft's recent price cut. And I do have to say something about this. We have seen the leak for the PlayStation 4 and Vita bundle. I think we're going to have a community discussion on this, whether or not to count that. I'm on the no territory.
No, I don't.
I don't think it's the same thing. The thought behind this was we're keeping the price either at $3.99 or we're doing a price cut.
Yeah.
If we keep it at $3.99, we're throwing in a game. We're throwing in the PlayStation camera and keeping the price the same. It's a totally different thing, in my opinion, to add a whole other thing in there and then knock the price down a little bit. That's not the same. It's to try to do the gamesmanship with Microsoft. So
I can see it being a $500 price point for both systems and a game.
Possible, yeah. But on that note, Zero, your thoughts on if they make a value move like that?
I said yes. I feel like they would at least include a new game. I don't know about a price cut quite yet.
Yeah.
I don't know, because 400's pretty solid at the moment.
It is.
But
they're selling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd say they'll maybe wait a year before they do a price cut.
That's about where I think the price cut will be revealed actually somewhere past Gamescom, something like that, after E3.
Yeah.
They might wait to see.
It's a little too early to mobilize a value move after Xbox announcement, and I don't think they had any reason to change it beforehand. Weren't looking to change it. The only reason I could see it is closer to Christmas, closer to Black Friday.
Right. Why'd you say no, Tony?
I feel like if they do that, like they'll see how the Xbox sells. Like they're still selling more and a lot, so there's no reason to. But if the Xbox starts nipping at their heels a little bit because of this move, then they might later. But definitely not. I think that's a weak move. I don't think they do it yet.
Yeah.
I
But a
said,
bundle, on the other hand, I think
Bundle
they
I
would
could
do.
see. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see a bundle.
and it's really a shame that leaked because I think that would have been a big play. I think it may have been like a big boss or Kiefer of mine like
Yeah.
last year or something like that. Or no, it was a question last year. Will they include it with the Vita? And we scrapped it this year. It's like, oh, well, they're not going to do it now, and it looks like they might. So that's very interesting.
I
It
feel
wouldn't
like
surprise
this
me.
question's more like, will this help the PS4? And with that kind of bundle, that's just to help the Vita. in my
Exactly. It
opinion.
helps the Vita entirely. I said yes, and so did 64.1% of Sminjas.
So Tony and I are actually in the.
The minority.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said they'll either include the camera, because they were planning on including the camera from the get-go, and they scrapped it just to get that under price on
Yep.
Microsoft. So I figure we want more people to live stream, get the camera back in there. Or if they do a game, like you say, Zero, I think Infamous.
Yeah, I'm thinking Second Son.
Yeah, it has been their, one of their, not necessarily their biggest sellers, but one of their best games so far, and they want to get more
It
people
looked
playing that.
interesting
And
and fun.
that game looks gorgeous. All the particle effects, it looks great. So I think it's either, if they do that, which I say yes, camera, PlayStation Eye, whatever, or Infamous Second Son. So Zero, your big boss and Kiefer predictions.
Well, I had to think long and hard on this one because, well, a bunch of people had a bunch of predictable things like, oh, certain characters for Smash, oh, new game or whatever. So I had to think of I thought of two games that would be, no one could have thought it out quite as much. So, Pokemon spin-off, right? We have like games like Pokemon Fighter, Pokemon Snap 2, whatever. Those are all predictable. Let's see a new Pokemon Pinball.
Yeah! Yeah!
We have over 600 Pokemon. I think it's time for a new pinball game.
I love that. Great big boss prediction.
What about like 3 hours ago? 4 hours ago?
We were playing that on stream. I was playing Ruby Sapphire and we're like, man, we need another one.
Wow.
Yeah, so great pick. I love it. What about
Yeah.
your Kiefer?
Kiefer, okay, so everyone has been getting into these racing games nowadays. So, would it be F-Zero? No, because Nintendo's kind of forgotten about them.
Aw.
I'm thinking Kirby's Air Ride 2.
Ooh. Ooh. Kirby's
I'm
Air
thinking-
Ride 2.
I think after Smash Run announcement.
I'm thinking Sakurai's going to need something to work on after Smash. It's not going to be quite... It's just going to be a teaser.
I don't think he really works there anymore. I think he's all freelance guy now, and they just
He's
call him when
Project-
Smash is coming out.
Team Sora projects.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Team Sora is
Yeah.
probably already going to kick it soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm thinking
As-
Kirby's Air Ride 2.
That's strong. That's a good Kiefer. I like it. All right, Zero Ranma, thank you for calling in. We hope
Yeah,
you have a
thanks for
great
having
E3. Oh, yeah, no problem. All right, man, have a good one.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
I was going to say a Zelda kart racer or something like that. But I'm like, Zelda's already getting its freaking Hyrule Warriors.
Hyrule Warriors, and they're apparently going to show more playable characters at E3, more than just Link and Impa.
Need some chic.
Need some
chic.
Tingle!
The tingle,
Shut
though.
up.
Look,
Kuro Rimpa!
Blue Boo status tingle, though.
Oh, jeez. He's in Rosy Rupee.
Rosy Rupee Land.
Yes, that. That'd be pretty crazy.
I hate this next question. I hate it so much.
Oh,
All
well.
right. I said in the Twitch chat, but just want to say it here too that all call-in show spots have been accounted for already.
Oh.
So I already have everyone lined up. So if you were looking to get into the call and have not talked to me already, sorry, but maybe next year.
Maybe next year, or we make it really quick at the end with our last 10.
Plus, someone could drop. And so
It's
So-
possible someone could drop. So
Just
if you
saying.
have not yet, just keep an eye out. We in the chat, Sword Hunt, you'll probably say if someone cancels.
yeah,
Yeah, I will. Okay.
keep us posted. So we have 2 more Sony questions and 1 more Nintendo. And after the 2 Sony, we're gonna take a break because we are splitting this up into 2 parts
Yeah.
for the download. So just to give you a heads up on that. So part 1 is coming to a close soon. Please welcome Psycho Wing X9. Welcome.
Howdy, y'all.
Hey, how
Howdy,
are
howdy.
you?
What's up,
I'm pretty
dude?
good. I've been watching a lot of monster movies lately.
You
Well-
certainly have, and writing reviews on our forums, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
All
No
right.
problem.
So we have 2 Sony questions for you. We're going to end part 1 of the podcast and then start off part 2 with Nintendo. How's that sound?
Awesome. I'm going to be the transitional.
There you
Yeah,
go.
you are.
First question from Sony. A woman speaks on stage as a presenter during the conference.
All right. Well, what I did is I averaged out everyone's answers, starting, or at least everyone up till Darkrai.
Mm-hmm.
And what I got was yes. And I agree with that. I think Sony will probably put out a female presenter.
Yeah, I think it would be wise of them to. It was something that was an issue within the past couple years. Just like, would they do that? I don't even know if they did last year.
I don't know if they did either.
So I was kind of the negative Nancy on this. I said no. I think it'd be a
I
little
said
more,
no too.
a little more of a boys' club, unfortunately, and they may get ripped for it.
It'll
I don't
just
know.
be more like
After last year's Microsoft faux pas with the females, I think that Sony might have a conscious move to put a female out there.
move.
I see what you did there. I see.
I feel like it'll just be more like fat guys breathing hard because that made me laugh last year.
I think that was 2 years ago, but the point is still made
still
nonetheless.
remember it.
Point is made nonetheless.
It's about time for a transitional.
Yeah, we're almost running out of beverage. Yeah, it's a strange question to carry over, I think, still, but it's something certainly to point out. I mean, we saw Microsoft last year with I can't remember her name from 343, and she came on stage and talking about the Halo journey. So
Yeah.
she was there. Sony didn't really have anyone. So 61.5% of SMYN just said yes, and so they're being a little optimistic about
Yeah.
Sony, which I applaud. I hope they do. I hope they have a woman
50% of
presenter.
women are on the planet. There's got to be a chance that one of these presenters happens to have 2 X chromosomes.
Yeah. So if they bring someone out to do a demo, that doesn't count. They have to be speaking as a presenter. It can't necessarily be, we say on stage as a presenter, so it can't even be like in a trailer where the dev team's talking. Like, that doesn't count.
Nope.
Please welcome Miss So-and-so. Like, that's the big thing. So I'm not sure that happens.
I don't know. I think if they do a video where it's mainly a woman presenting everything in the video, I would say that, because if she can't make it out or something like that.
We'll have to discuss it if that happens.
That is a semantical question.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, last Sony question here, and it's a classic.
Yep.
The phrase "U.S. dollars" is said during the conference.
Thank you, Tony.
No,
Tony
Well,
is-
well, obviously I'm not the calibrations expert because something went wrong with my averaging system and I accidentally said yes.
nice. You're on the side of good, my friend.
So I'm gonna stick with it. This is kind of that wild card question.
Wild card.
Wild card. But it's possible. It's not like something that's gonna be impossible. It's just, I don't know. It'll either happen or it won't.
If it does, it's gonna have to be at that PS4 Vita bundle.
Either that or PlayStation Now pricing.
I like how we're trying to
Yeah.
spot this.
Yeah, PlayStation Now pricing would actually be a really good place to put it.
It's possible, especially.
Oh, wow,
but then
that-
again, it's generally going to be for U.S. markets that they launch it. I don't think it's not a worldwide thing that they're trying this out. They're trying to limit at a time. They're starting with the U.S., so they could very well say U.S. dollars, but they could also say dollars in the United States. So wouldn't be the same thing.
Damn.
Ooh, this one is a good wild card though this
Yeah.
year with Gaikai pricing.
And we have 23.1% of SMYN just saying yes, but Super and I would say no.
No.
I think they're cognizant of the meme level of that phrase.
That's
Yeah.
kind of faded. It's still my PSN like phrase, like on my profile, $599.
Nice.
That's just
Nice.
where they differ from Nintendo, because like Nintendo is aware of the memes that are made about Nintendo or Reggie, but Sony just seems to ignore that when that happens. I don't know.
Ridge Racer.
Exactly. Or
I don't know. They mentioned Ridge Racer actually though.
they have? All right. I guess I'm just not paying.
Very vaguely.
Yeah. All right, so that does it for the Sony questions and the Microsoft.
Yep.
That'll do it for part 1 of Show Me Your News, our pre-E3 discussion, episode 160, part 1. Come back for part 2. We have Nintendo, third parties, and our last 10 questions of is this the year for this game, a reveal information for. So stick around. So
We'll be back at 6 o'clock.
we'll be back shortly. Check us out on part 2. We'll see ya.